Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to my daily news analysis channel. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss the important articles of The Hindu newspaper. Our first article is about economy. It talks about inflation. It tells about the inflation data. So, the retail inflation in India has rose to 1.33% in December 2025. Well, it is below the RBI lower tolerance level of 2%, but as compared to November 2025, which was 0.25, the headline inflation was 0.25%. In December 2025, the number grew to 1.3%. Let us understand what is inflation. So, inflation base refers to a sustained and steady rise in price of goods and services in an economy. RBI has set a limit of inflation. It is also known as Inflation Framework for Inflation Targeting (FIT). According to RBI, the optimum level of inflation in the economy should ranges between plus 4%, plus minus 4%. It means it should range between 2 to 6%. But now the inflation, the headline inflation in India. Headline inflation means the inflation of all goods and services, including food and fuel. So it is 1.33%. The lower level of headline inflation is, of course, the GST reforms. But as compared to previous months, it is increasing. Compare it to December 2024 inflation. This year's inflation rate range in our country has decreased. In December 2025, the inflation rate was 5.22%, but now it is 1.33%. And the major contribution is due to the GST reforms, according to Ministry of Statistics. But though the headline inflation is increasing, but the core inflation in our country, it means if you exclude food and fuel from the list, it has jumped to 4.8%, which is near to 6%. From the past 28-month high, the core inflation is about to 4.8%. The major reason for rise in core inflation in our country is rise in high precious metals like gold and silver. Due to the high prices of these precious metals, the core inflation is also increasing. Moving towards a second news headline, it basically talks about India Germany relations. So on Monday, Germany in Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi inaugurated International Kite Festival in Sabarmati Riverfront in Ahmedabad, and the guest of the honor was Germany Chancellor Friedrich Merz. He was the guest. So, what is this International Kite Festival? So, International Kite Festival is it showcases about the India's soft power in geopolitics and India's rich culture. So it was held at Sabarmati Riverfront in Ahmedabad. In this kite festival, nearly 135 international flies from 50 countries, and 65 kites flies from 13 Indian states. It basically promotes Indian diplomacy, people to people participation, and tourism in the country. And it also showcases the rich heritage of the Gujarat. Along with this culture, in yesterday's event, a most important talk happened between Modi and Merz. So Modi has said so. Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi has said that India and Germany has a 25 years of strategic partnership and 75 years of diplomatic relations. Also, Frederick Merz has said that India and Germany they must strengthen their relations through defense collaboration. we both countries focus on defense industrial collaboration, and they also talk about the creation of the consultation mechanism to ease the defense trade process. So we are in future we will be seeing a trade defense trade deal between India and Germany. That these trade deals, it not only make India's defense sector more indigenous, but also it make us more atmanirbhar also, and make us, and it can also improve our R&D as well. Moving towards our third news. So an article is there in the Hindu newspaper, which basically talks about early childhood care development, ECCD. So we all know that India wants to become a 30 trillion economy by 2047 and a developed economy by 2047. And it is also known as Vikasit Bharat, right? And in order to achieve the aspiration of Vikasit Bharat, India is doing a lot of in contributing in infrastructure, manufacturing, ease of doing businesses, innovation, R&D. But along with along with these investments, we also need to invest in human capital. We need a sustained, evidence based human capital investment. Why it is very important? Today in this video, in this in we are going to discuss this, why it is very very important to to, to basically to do investment in human capital, and how we can invest in human capital through early investment in children. According to World Health Organization and UNCIF, the first 1000 days of life in child's level, it is a very crucial window. It is basically an opportunity which shapes children's future well-being potential. Nearly 80 to 85% of brain child brain development, it happens in this window only. It means from 0 years to 2 years, the 80 to 85% of brain development has already taken place in this window. From 3 years to 8 years, it means the next 3 years to 8 years, the architecture of it all the habits formed in this age, as well as cognition levels, nutrition levels, it basically forms in this range. That is why need to have an we need to have a roadmap and focused systematic investment in early childhood care development. If we do not have a well balanced children's well balanced youth, then all of that infrastructure, all of that whatever we are building here, it will it would be equal to zero if we do not invest in our children's in their early years. Early years are the formative years of the children, and also they are the formative years for for the development of the country as well, because a country is known by his people. Of course, infrastructure, investments, economy, they play a very important role, but human capital is also the undeniable part. But we hardly talk about nutrition and health. Investment in early childhood care development, it has a very long term benefits in health, in education, and in cognition as well. But if we do not invest them, if we neglect this system, it has a irreversible deficits. We cannot change them in the later years of the children's country. Also, the investment in ECCD is a game of a patience. It is not only the game of money, but it is the game of a patience. Because the results that we are going to see, it will be seen after 20 years. But it requires consistent efforts right now as well. Right now, the early childhood care development policies are very fragmented, and they are or they are on survival basis. We have our policies like Anganwadi system, National Health Mission, Poshan 2.0, and have these schemes, they have achieved a very good number. Like, they, due to these schemes, the we have reduced the infant mortality rate, and nutritional level also increased, literacy rate has increased. But all of these policies, they are survival basis only. They only ensures the survivability of the children, but they do not support, or they do not cater the holistic development of the children. And they also do not cater or fulfills the do not solve the existing, the contemporary problems that our children are facing. These policies formed in year 1990s, 2000s, where our mortality rate, our infant mortality rate, literacy rate was very low. And that is why that is why the focus was there. But now the problems of problems of in early childhood care development, it has increased. Now the children are are suffering from obesity, inactivity, screen exposure, delayed skills, behavioral issues, cognitive issues. They are also suffering from emotional health problem as well. That is why we need a right now we need to have an holistic early childhood care development policy, which not only sees the which not only ensures the nutrition level, but also the education, the cognition, emotional health, as well as mental health in the children in children. Also, another drawback of these early childhood care development policies that government has formed and have formed in the previous year, it was they were all poverty centric. They were all centric towards the below poverty line children, focus on those children who are below poverty lines. But now the children who are from middle class, upper middle class, even rich class, even they are also facing problems. They they are facing problems, as I listed earlier, like obesity, behavioral issues. They are also suffering from emotional health problems, mental health problems, cognitive problems, the screen exposure. The According to World Health Organization, if the child is exposed to screen for a very long time, it will lead to the problem of in that autism in in child. Autism is basically a cognitive disorder where children a person takes a little time to respond, to act on that particular thing. They take little time to understand that thing, to understand things very well. And all this is happening in the middle and upper families as well. So this time we have to formulate the early childhood care development policies. It must be universal. It should not be limited to poorest households, but it should be universal, because every child requires the environment, a good environment which nurtures him holistically. So what we should do, so we should have an integrated ECCD framework, which includes health, emotion, in health it should have, we should have framework which caters the nutritional health also, the mental health also, emotional health also. We should, which has the framework for education as well as the other behavioral issues. We should promote responsive caregiving, parental education, and early simulations as well. Parents must be educated about how to raise their child in a well mannered, in a well mannered environment, because from the 0 to 2 years, family is the first area of socialization, is the first step of socialization for a child, for first school of socialization. Here 70% of attitude and behavior of the child improves, is formed, it is shaped. And here they mostly learn from the observational method also. So that is why in this bracket from 0 to 2 years, actually from 0 to 8 years, parents must behave very carefully around their children, and they must be educated on that. There is a quote that article that the author has presented. He has said that the sign of a great parenting is not in the child's behavior, but the sign of a truly great parenting is in the parents' behavior. So that is why we must educate young couples and young parents about the environment that they should keep around the children, about their actions. We must tell them what are, we must educate them about this as well. And we should move from and another thing that we should do is that we should move from service delivery to learning health and nutritional ecosystem. And at the end I would like to say that we should consider a national mission of ECCD, because a good youth can make a good country. Moving towards our fourth article basically talks about the articles how Trump violating the international laws, United Nations Charter. We all know that what Trump is doing in the geopolitics arena. Last week he attacked Venezuela, and he captured um, the head of the Venezuela, that is Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, and his wife Calia Flores, to face a trial charges of narco terrorism in New York. He announced that the US would run the country and use its oil wealth to compensate US companies whose corporations had been nationalized some 2 decades back. Also, he also warned that he will also enact Greenland as well. So do you think what kind of international laws that Trump is right now violating? We should understand this. See, we need to understand why Trump attacked Venezuela. Trump attacked Venezuela, the reason he cited was the narco terrorism. He said that since 2000, drug overdoses have claimed almost 1.25 million of US lives. But according to other sources, the drugs which are in US, 69% of drugs that are 69% of our fentanyl, which is produced in China. Though Venezuela has contributed in the drug terrorism in India, it's cocaine, but it in modest account. It is, we all know that why Trump has and why Trump um, attacked Venezuela because Venezuela have the largest proven oil reserves in the world. And Mr. Trump has declared that the US oil companies will now enter the South American nation, and they will uh, set up their plants, and they will extract the oils. So the article which Trump has violated, the United Nations Charter Article 2 Clause 5(4), which prohibits the threat or use of force against territorial integrity or potential independence. Also, he violated Article 51, which says that you can use arms in self-defense against armed attack. Only you can use armed attack if they have as a self-defense, not you can attack the country because of narco-terrorism or such kind of talks. Yes, I agree that these are problems, but the solution is that they both countries should talk to each other, it should be more dialogue basis, but it is not happening here right now. So we will see what will happen next, and we will meet you tomorrow with a new news headlines and new articles. We're going to end this video by today's quote. Our today's quote is by Paulo Pelochello. He has said that when we strive to become better than we are, everything around us become better too. On that note, thank you so much.